Good evening. My name is John Yakim, and I am a resident of Monroeville. Mr. Mayor, members of council, Manager Little, and Solicitor Dice, good evening to all of you. Mr. Mayor, thank you for the opportunity to speak to you and council again this evening. Mr. Mayor, several months ago, you promised a more open approach to residents' questions. I and others are certainly looking forward to this period of openness. Mr. Mayor, several months ago, Councilman Harvey said, and I quote, "The Attorney General's letter is wrong. I intend on proving it." And you stated, Mr. Mayor, that Mr. Little had been trying to contact the AG office for a meeting. Could you please tell us what the status of this meeting is, and as a follow-up, does Councilman Harvey have the proof that the letter is wrong?
Mr. Little,
We have not heard anything from the AG's office, John,
Okay.
as of yet. And that's basically all I can say. We haven't heard anything. We have tried, and I'm going back to April, have tried to schedule a meeting with them,
We can't hear you, sir.
and the meeting has not been forthcoming.
Okay.
And that's not because, on our part, okay? Because Mr. Harvey wants to clarify some issues, and I'll let him speak to that, clarify some issues about their, I don't use the word investigation loosely. I don't know if that's their inquiry, because I can't speak to that about their inquiry with the fire departments. And I'll let, Ron, speak to that. But we have tried to contact them for a meeting, and to no avail.
Okay.
John, I spent half of my life doing investigations for the police department. I can't have any clue as to how they came to the conclusions they did when they didn't talk to the people I know they didn't talk to, because I went around and asked. So I simply asked Mr. Little and Chief Cole to contact the AG's office so I could sit down and better understand where they obtained their facts from or didn't obtain their facts, which I don't think I'm going to find they did. I think I'm probably going to be surprised as to what they based their report on, but I don't know that for a fact yet, because I do know that Mr. Little and Doug Cole have had email communications with the AG's office, and they just aren't here yet. And I don't know whether it's their schedule. It's certainly not ours. And that communication has been made, but we're waiting for them to come down and talk to us.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Mayor, it has been over 5 months since the beginning of the CSI investigation. This investigation is taking longer than the daily investigation. I and others are hearing several things coming out of the CSI investigation. It is apparent that one of the investigators is a personal friend with one of the employees involved in the investigation. Could you comment, Mr. Mayor, on any potential conflicts of interest related to this investigation and the personal relationships of the investigators to one of our employees?
I don't know of any conflict of interest. The length of time is apparently, it's a matter of getting everybody to sign, is my understanding, and go over all their testimony. So as we instructed, whatever time it takes, take that time. When it's done, it'll be done right.
Okay, as related to the CSI investigation, bless you. It has become apparent that the nature of the investigation has changed from what was initially approved by council. The initial motion and the engagement letters signed by both Mr. Dice in February and Mr. Little in April all use the phrase relative to the accuracy and content of the daily investigation. Mr. Mayor, would you comment on this apparent change?
There's no change that I'm aware of. Again, we're just trying to get to the facts and get down to what we need to address.
Okay. And finally, Mr. Mayor, the Attorney General's office, the Office of Civil Rights at HHS, and the Daily Report all indicated that unauthorized individuals had access to confidential information through the municipal computer system. There were certainly variations in the nature and the jurisdiction of those three reports, but in summary, they all said that people who shouldn't have been looking at sensitive information were. Can you assure us, Mr. Mayor, that a year after the Daily Report was released, that unauthorized individuals are no longer accessing confidential patient or career-related information.
Let's be very clear, no patient information was compromised.
That's not true, sir.
And that's your
The
opinion.
HHS letter said that there was stuff that was compromised, and we've seen it in the press.
No, it did not, John, but you can have your opinion on that, but there's been nothing compromised, and nobody's getting.
What there wasn't was jurisdiction of HHS over the dispatch center, or the dispatch center wasn't covered by HIPAA. It didn't say, that letter did not say that patient information wasn't compromised. It just said that the people who did the compromising were not subject to HHS jurisdiction.
That's not my understanding, so again, that's, we have difference of opinion, but I can assure you, nobody that's unauthorized is looking at anything other than what their job or their position is allowed.
Okay, so you can assure us that civilians,
100%.
firefighters, and unauthorized individuals are no longer accessing private information stored in our computer systems.
None. I can guarantee you none of that.
Okay, thanks for answering the questions.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen,